I would eat you alive, Spider-Man. Hey, Blitzwinger back, and today's video review is on the sorry about that, not Transformers, Spider-Man Spectacular Spider-Man animated show action figure line Venom. I screwed that up completely. Spectacular Spider-Man Venom action figure review. Something along those lines. I hope you get what I mean. Alright, well, Venom, like I always start off with the accessories the action figure brings. Venom does not bring any accessories with himself except himself. So I'll just do a quick shot of him, close-up shot right away. So there's his mug, so to speak. Well, let me put his hands down so you guys can see it better. One thing I have to comment right away is that these guys, the entire line, are done so well to look exactly like their counterparts on the show, which makes them look very unique and stylish and very accurate to the TV show. They didn't go for trying to make them realistic or trying to I really like the spider design on the chest. It's really well done, and on the back too. And the legs are just kind of bland, not much detail except for the really cool, again, animated, like outlandish sizes. It really fits the design of the Spectacular Spider-Man animation. So I mean, it's very well done. The whole body is very muscular and buff and like really accurate to the TV show to achieve a real nice effect, at least in my personal opinion. Now, as far as articulation goes on Venom, sorry, I had a little brain fart there, so to speak. He comes with, again, the first of all, American toy lines are not very well known for articulation, but this line in particular, the Spider-Man line, except for the Spider-Man and the Green Goblin figure, from what I know, as far as I know, most of them lack articulation, but they're really nice to just pose in some sort of a pose, like intimidating, like he's about to attack or something along those lines, and they look great all together on the shelf. But his articulation, as far as it goes, is he has a 360 in the head. However, as you can see, the head is down on a swivel, so I mean, you don't really have much of a, like, I don't know if you could pose him like that or anything like that, or really looking to the side is more like, kind of like, what did you just say? Something along those lines. Not very natural looking, but again, it follows the animated design, which is not very natural. I mean, look at the size, the proportions of the body. I mean, look at the feet and everything. So, yeah, that's completely fine. I wish one thing would have been cool is if the mouth would have closed. That would be a real nice bonus. However, it doesn't. So, but whatever. It's still neat looking. Then he has a ball joint in his shoulder, which allows for quite a variety of movement. It is only limited to go up to here, meaning this is the limit you get. And then he has in his feet, or in his legs, I guess more, at the upper thigh, 360, and again, it's a swivel. Now, I don't think, except for the hands, there is any ball joints. Well, not only on this guy, but a lot of, I think a couple more of the Spectacular figures, they don't really have, well, Electro does and Spidey does. Well, I think the larger guys, like Rhino, I don't think he has, but I'm not really sure. So I'm not going to say anything because I don't want people to go, oh my god, you don't know. Yeah. And then I guess you could count this as 360, but get ready for the loud noise. There you go, because this is part of his gimmick, is this ratcheting crap. And this is where we go into my not so positive things about this figure. So First off is this gimmick, and again, I really hate when action figures do this. When they take the gimmick and they put it inside of a great figure, and by putting that gimmick there, they ruin that figure. That is one point of articulation that you're taking away and making the figure less articulated, or by saving money on that, you could have maybe added another point. Instead of adding this stupid gimmick, you could have added a point in the elbow or something along those lines, which would have been very nice. But they decided to go with this gimmick, and now you were wondering what the gimmick is. So the gimmick is you just pull his hand and then he hits. So you pull either one of the hands and he's supposed to, like, pretty much you see what I mean. And yes, it is as messy as it looks on the camera. I'm not making it up. This is pretty much what it's supposed to be. Now, me being me, and screwing a lot with the figure, I ended up screwing up his waist quite badly, that now he can't stay straight anymore. Now, that could be just my fault, that I was trying to pose him by moving the waist too much, and it got screwed up, and so, like, no matter how much, if I move it this way or this way, it keeps just a little bit, it's still off. So whatever, I still found a pretty good pose, as you saw at the beginning, for him to be displayed in, even with this screw up. But I mean, it really frustrates me to the fact that this happened. I'm not sure whether it happened again because of me. If it did, then whatever, it's okay, but still, they should have had that point of articulation, especially on this guy who lacks articulation. So now that I'm done with that little rant, let's go on to the second part of the rant. So this guy's hands, a lot of people like this. Personally, I don't. His hands are made from this material that is really bendable, as you can see. Like, it's just filled with air. Like, there's no solid there. Like, you can literally take his hand and just completely bend it in. You see? That's what I mean. I personally don't like that. I feel like it's like a cheap way out. However, if what I heard is true, then I get why they did it. Because I remember on some forum or something reading that the first wave or a couple of waves of these guys were released with solid hands, and then there was a problem because he has a design of claws on his hand there, and kids hurt themselves or something, so they decided to do this, which kind of actually looks like there might have been a problem, because you can see, like, this is a completely separate piece from this. You can definitely see that this was glued here together. Now what they did do neatly is that at least the transition is nice, where it goes from soft slowly to harder to complete solid plastic. Now nothing else in his body is soft except for that two hands. That is it. So don't worry about his legs or anything like that. That's completely fine. Just before I go off, I'm just gonna mention one really nice effect was on the paint jobs. I really like the entire metallic blue and the really nice fadings that are happening. So as you can see, it starts from really metallic blue from here, goes into his arms, and then slowly turns completely black. And on the insides of his hands, I'm not sure if this is for what I think it is, for like a shadowing effect, because if it is, that's really nicely done. It's completely black here, as you can see, and as you go from black, you go into blue again. So I really like that, and it's done pretty much on the entire like body, where you can see blue fading into black, blue starting from the top, fading slowly into black up to the trunks, and once again the same thing on the front. So this guy with his gimmick issues, I can't say that I would completely recommend him, like he's all an incredible pickup, but I would still say that considering the prices of Marvel Universe that are the exact same price as these guys, I would any day of the week I would pick up a Venom over a Marvel Universe figure for the same price, because I mean, you're getting twice as much plastic and it's really nicely done. Now that waste problem could just be me, and that me just being mad. So it might not happen to you. And if you are gonna screw around with it, don't do it don't do it much, because it's gonna happen what happened to me. And the hands, some people like it, so I guess it's kind of a personal choice. But I personally don't really like it. One fast thing before I go is also he's not very tall figure. So here I have a average size pencil. So let me just zoom out so you guys realize. So he's about half the size of a pencil, so not a very tall figure. But this is pretty much it, and I'd still say you should pick him up if you already have a collection of Spectacular. Then definitely go, especially because he's one of the main villains. So I'll catch you next time, and well, as I always say, Blitzwinger out.